Alchemy, a priesthood tale, narrated by James Zeal Thrones. Now this tale is a dark one, for without darkness there could be no light. In the beginning, there was darkness. Our story begins with the Black Owl, spreading his shadow like a blanket across humanity to give the world what he considered to be a well-deserved nap. And this is his lullaby.
Hey yo, his feathers dance in the breeze while his wings in the air flex. His talents drop bombs on the kings in the square hex. 97 degrees in the shade of a fair's necks. He swooped in like walking down invisible stair steps. The scared force once assigned an ink on their prayer checks. If not a guy that ain't never blinking the stair test. Nobody's home, but the security drone that sent the footage to his brother who was linked to the where yes. Searching for the priesthood, they searching for him. In a loop that kept repeating like the words in the hymn. Found his name in the rare text where angels compared bets. Or watching the affairs of men who bang over shared breath. Private meetings with the scam pikers overtaking thought. Shady deals on the periodic tablecloth. Angels lost seconds, broth drinking from their necks. Dark nights passing hell, passing else with passing yell. Run the ounce, come and golden ring on the air's chest. Contain souls, chest hairs, split into your chest hairs. Take your heart, put it in this crystal over chest theirs. Those who played them disappeared, crippled over death stairs. Quickly covered chest squares like women with their breast bare. He never lost the spirits, ran tripping over breath stairs. Giggles in the air left, talons blade the palisade, ripping through his spare vest. The physical is air dressed, but is he man of myth? Bullets singing, it's a fair test. Or cut your arms off if you thinking a dead jest. And still he thought circles while I'm thinking it their best. He's trying to live on, the light in his ribs gone. Avoided death when he got tired, he switched forms. From way back, he was never like all the kids born. Him and his twin brother enjoying the red summer, trying to catch butterflies and skipping the wind flutter. They call him exhale, and his brother was in the hell, both in prison in the rib cage and stuck in the skin jail. The struggle won't end well, stuck under a thin veil. His brother was invited, they rejected him most. Never felt he was inspired by the heavenly host. His twin was so infallible, he could do no wrong. He caught his victories, mistakes, never choose to belong. His best friend became his shadow brother, grew in the dawn. While he preferred the night, hurt by light. Underneath the surface like Pollux cast the Abel Cain. Owlet master made him train 1,000 hours with his twin, whether it was sun or rain. Going through a sudden change and went in his own route. He heard the voices trapped inside the center of stone shout. From overside of rim, the salt crystals and bones drought. He even grabbed the gnosis from the sphinxes with no snout. He only saw life through the lens of his own doubt. The color things wicked, it kept him on the outside like submarine liquid shadows fogging up his brain. Another unforeseen visit in a sudden dream vivid, with a lion's raw move and the monkey's spinning ribbit. On a giant sunflower where the money bees pivot, flowing through the spirit hood with a thuggish trees kicking, fighting with the present. Still kept his head to the sky as he walked through the darkness, making destiny cry.
Always kept his head to the sky, walking through the darkness. Always kept his head to the sky, walking through the darkness. No, they can't see him walking through the darkness. No, they can't see him walking through the darkness.
Yo, the spirit in the body, it can never be killed. So the sound waves together in the melody quilt. Thoughts invade his mind tempers once the jealousy built. But still the Z of life flowers too healthy to will. Born 12 hours apart, only fate could explain the opposition of the night and day weighed on his brain. The odd position of the sky array plainly explained. Of the polarized battle of the glow to strike shadow. Even broke the time shackles, who could fix the debris? His sand castles in his thoughts falling, drift in the sea. Flesh of weakened men struggle to resist the decree. As they lower self, slipped them an invisible key with trick gnosis. He closed the eyelid of the tree. In the center of the earth and caused eclipses to be. It's why I needed Zoe strikes to guard the wicked should flee. He seems invisible, yet only those with wisdom can see. Underneath the shell, studying the energy chi. The dark forces in his chart made his enemies be. Cause he felt the world older, made it bend to his knee. While his brother was the light to put it into his spree. Once he left somewhere, the people thought ignorantly. Cause their fear became power, he would grip as they plea. He thought about it every morning when he'd sip of his tea. Met a wizard who he paid to do his bidding. The fee, he could have his brother's kingdom, everything that he owns. Both inherit vast lands plus a place on the throne. One day they caught him in the desert far away from his home. Man, the owl damaged foul, he was sinking alone. Fought back right before they turned his wings into stone. Disappeared in whirling wind to escape as he roamed. When he came for his family, he been naked in the deal. So we made him an owl too, magic ripped through his shell. He vowed the world's nightmares, they would live to be real. Since the wounds on his spirit never lifted the hill. Pull it back, every fruit has a different appeal. found the night. Albert Pike and Shadow lived through them. Know they end up in the ground of light. Crystals in the crown of the light. Light from 1,000 missiles wasn't bringing down the night. These dark shadows, they were rolling his brain. Without day, he would rule and control the terrain. Could appear to be human, couple moments to change. When he ate the moonberries, he could hold it like frames for hours longer. Sound of water dripping made him insane. You turn rivers in the desert lands with saying could rain. You stabbed him with the blade before the wizard in the shop ran. A magic hourglass, he making pieces of a mosque's plan. Dome tip from crusting time, crystal in the rock sand. Tom couldn't kill him with the pistol in the clock hands until his grain vanished, disappearing like the Olmecs. They made a statue for him in the wilderness of Molech. Another sacrifice, fresh meat on the stove. The Scam Tigers yearly feast at Bohemian Grove. Him and his brother separated at birth. His mother passed by giving birth to him. They blamed him at first that his brother was a gift, but he came as a curse. Abused by an artificial priest, raised by the church. Killed later by killer priest. All the angels dispersed, sent away by his father. He ain't know what to do. They reconnected in their teens first and nobody knew. Until the pieces form a picture clearly nobody drew. They still brothers though they paths ain't remain together. Meet this year one day at the temple, play chess and train together. Still sharp and still before text and symbols came together. Like drums playing made his bed in the sky. As he walked through the darkness, making destiny cry.
Those personal growth from an Pan-African perspective. I am Farugh Ma'at, one of your 3 dynamic hosts on this majestic movement platform. And we have with us today one of 3 hosts.
Oh, the video was still playing on mine, so I didn't know.
As the royal priesthood went from one portal to another, seeking to vanquish the shadow, the dark owl walked into the darkness, becoming one with the void, in search of Now that, my friends, is a priesthood tale for another day.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Did it start?
We are live. All right. Well, I want to welcome everybody to another production. Okay, here's the man. Farugh is back.
All right, there you go.
There you go. Well, I don't know what happened, but we're here. This must be a hot topic. They was like, yo, we gotta shut this down. We gotta mix it up. We gotta throw something in there. So peace and infinite blessings, family. Welcome to Journey to Be Ma'at, where you come and get your dose, your weekly dose of personal growth from a Pan-African perspective. I am Farugh Ma'at, one of the dynamic hosts of this majestic movement, one of 3 hosts of this dynamic movement. And we have with us today.
Hi, I'm Nefertiti.
You're not a host.
Oh, I'm not.
Don't joke. Great.
Hi. Hi, I'm Nefertiti. I'm Favor's daughter. One of the many. Uncle Kamua.
Peace. I am Brother Kamua, one of the hosts of this production right here.
And so Knowledge is doing his thing behind the scenes. So I guess I'm going to change that number. I should just say, well, how should I do the introduction now? Because it's no longer 3. It's like,
Yeah,
it depends on the show topic.
it just
So
depends. One of
yeah,
the hosts.
one of the many hosts of this production. So this is the time where we do the verbal libations to the millions known and unknown who sacrifice, turning obstacles into opportunities. We strategize so we can be who and do what we do with less stress, right? We ask that you come and radiate your wisdom and courage on us and the space as we continue your work and your purpose. And we, I want to no, I get to it in the show. But this is the time we take to shout out some personal ones that help us on our personal journey, right? I'm not in a position to name all the ancestors. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I can acknowledge the ones, and that's why I say known and unknown. Because we shout them all out, but it's personal ones that help me become the person I am today. And I just want to give them a special acknowledgement, right? So today, I would like to shout out Mary McLeod Bethune. Oh, okay. You can shout out too. But she was very instrumental in me being in education, in the field of education. Um, Her birthday is the 10th, was the 10th. She was born in 1875. And she also found, among other things, she is the founder of the Bethune-Cookman College. And do yourself a favor and research her and read about her. It would do you justice. It would definitely enrich your life if you could do that. So, Kamul, you have anybody in particular that you would like to shout out?
Yeah, I want to give a verbal libation to Elisha Franklin, which is my youngest sister. And I just, she was on my mind this morning. And, just the thought of being a role model. I was a big brother to her, and being a role model to those who are directly looking up to you, be it your offspring or be it younger individuals, is really critical. It was really an eye opener when we had a memorial service, and some of her friends came. And one of her friends came up to me and was like, she was like, You're Ronald? For those who don't know my birth name. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I thought you were so much bigger. She's like, your sister, look, she talked about you so much that she had so many great things to say about you. So I'm glad that I, kind of shined in that way to my sister so much that it had an impression on the people that she was connected to. So, yeah.
Ashe. Thank you for sharing that, bro. That's what the show is about, man. That's great. I love that. Neff?
I'm trying to remember who else I had in mind. I want to say like musicians like Ella Fitzgerald or Louis Armstrong or just like anyone, not just from the Harlem Renaissance era, but just musical legends, period, because music has been a huge part of my life personally. I know all of us just in general, because music is a big part in our family, period. But for me personally, music has helped me through a lot. Um, like different genres of music help with different things. I actually wrote a paper on how different types of music, different types of music affect different parts of your brain, and how different genres like hip hop is more of a like hype up, more of a amp up type of music, and it gets you hyped up and ready to do whatever, or classical music is more calming and soothing and stuff. So for them to create to for them to have so many influential tributes to music, period, and how it created such a culture, not in just our culture, but like people around the world have also helped partake in um like hip hop, jazz. I know we didn't create jazz and stuff, but just
Huh?
I said we're not like the main, like we're not the only people who do jazz.
Oh,
I meant to say.
okay. All right.
Definitely
We're
was the
not the,
creators of it.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
not the main, we're not the only person I meant to say. Like there's people who
Gotcha.
like take jazz and make it their own, but just for them to pave the way for music the way that they did, and for them to still play a part in music till this day, like how people take samples of their music and turn it into their own still till this day, and how music has helped me through a lot, like hip hop and R&B. Like anyone who knows me, those are the two main genres that I listen to. I have like 10-hour playlists of hip hop and old school R&B. People like Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, Alicia Keys, they all, like, the messages that they have in their songs helped me through stuff that I may have been going through at the time. So I can't really say them because they're not officially transitioned, but just an example. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but it's just been a lot
Listen,
today.
we listening though.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because we did that last week. My person last week was Bill Withers. So I was listening to Bill Withers, like, and I was
Yeah.
just saying how his music is more impactful today than it was when I first heard it. When I first heard it, I was like young, right? So I didn't have life experiences. But now I listen to his music today. Man, I be in the joint crying and shouting and everything because
That's another thing.
I had all these life experiences. Now I could relate to the songs that he was singing
Hmm.
and the lyrics that he was singing. And I was like, this
That's
dude,
that's
my
that's
new
a
favorite.
better way. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, his music now, man. His music is like he's like one of my top artists now, based off his arrangements, his lyrics, the things that he was singing about, bro. Like the love songs that he was. Oh man, like
It's
I was
funny
like,
how
brother, I
like
feel you.
music. It's funny how music all the way. It's funny how music from back then is still relevant till this day.
Hmm.
Like the song "Wake Up Everybody." I just
Hmm.
recently listened to that again, and I realized that we still have a lot of those same problems, and
Hmm.
that was years ago.
Hmm.
So it's just it's just interesting to see how music can carry through so many years and still hold the same message as it did
Yeah.
back then, and have even more of an impact now than it did back then. So I just
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Music that has universal principles,
yeah.
and you talk about humanity and things like that. That stuff will never get old. I mean, and that's what makes it timeless. A lot of that music back then had um, that kind of context, I guess, um, where you still hear it today, and it's still you still can relate to it. And I think that's the biggest distinction between that time of music and today's time of music. Um,
I feel like everything. I feel like the music now is just like not everybody, but a good amount of it is just all talks about the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, whatever sells. It's all about what sells. That's all that matters now.
yeah.
Mhm.
What everybody likes and what sells. That's the bottom line. All right, so let's get into. I know we can talk about music all day, but let's get into the topic of matter. Right. Today's topic. Today's topic is co-parenting and community engagement from an African perspective. And I think I want to start doing more of a Pan-African perspective, right? Because with being a Pan-African, you have access to everything, right? We can all open talk about freely about Yoruba or whatever we could talk, whatever we want to talk about. We have a freedom to embrace it all. And because I got into a conversation, and it was like, which African perspective are you talking about? Are you talking about East Africa, North Africa, or West Africa? You talking about Yoruba? You talking about? I mean, and it's just like, do you really got to get into all that? Like, can we just talk about it from an African perspective, and it's your own unique experience, right? Um, because even if we talk about even if we talk about Yoruba, we all have a different perspective of it because we have our own individual journey that we're on, right? So it's never going to be completely the same. It's never going to be completely um, identical, right? It's always going to be some different perspectives. And I think we'll really start focusing and pushing a Pan African perspective. That way, um, we won't get sidetracked with all the individual stuff, right? What you think about that, though? What you think uh, about that? Excuse me.
Now, I think that yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that that's where we, if people who know us, that's what we really on. So when you put it in word and you define it, I think people get a better understanding of where you're coming from. Um,
Hmm.
Also, you know, sometimes, depending on the listener, depending on who you're communicating with, some people, are like the one, like you just expressed, what African,
Hmm.
they get a little, particular about,
Hmm.
specifics. I mean, and it always leads to a really good conversation, but when you preface it Pan African, then they really understand. Most people, I wouldn't even say most, but um, for those who know where we're coming from.
Yeah, because we really want to stress unity, right? We really want to stress um, one people, right? And I think when we come from that perspective, then we have a better chance of success. But when we practice the divide, we practice their way of life or their way of thought, we will never be as victorious as we can be because we're so divided, right? Um, so yeah, we definitely coming from a unification point of reference. And so yeah, I'm gonna definitely start um, using Pan African more um, as a focal point, just that we can understand what it is that we're trying to accomplish. All right, young ladies, y'all ready?
Yes,
So we're
sir.
gonna do this. This what we're gonna do. We're gonna do. Oh, Olu, introduce yourself.
Hmm?
You didn't properly introduce Olu.
Oh, sorry. Um, sorry. Hi, I'm Olafin. I'm Pharaoh's daughter. I'm Nefi's sister. I'm just like my nephews.
So cute. So everyone basically got to meet all my children, right? You seen Sage. Most of y'all seen Sage when he was one. He refused to get off the camera. One time I was doing a show, and so y'all seen him. You'll see a updated. Um, we'll have a Sage update But I really wanted to highlight these young folks here because they have age and they can add context to the conversation, right? Um, you can't sit there and say, I mean, you can. Most parents do sit there and say, "Oh, I'm a good parent, and I'm a bomb ass parent, and there's no better parent than me." But the best person to gauge you in that is your children, right?
Yeah.
And so, with the
Just the first one.
um,
Just the
with
first one.
Knowledge Born was pushing this hard. He was like, "Yo, put them children on, put them children on, put them children on," and I was like, "All right, you know," but you have to really listen. And I listened to the ancestors. I listened to the ancestors when they speak to others. And it's been a beautiful experience ever since they've been on. And so here we are with another episode. And this is the first time you met Olu. Um, so here's the first question. And I want to start with this. Um, yeah, let's get this out of the way. All right, let's get this out of the way. So, what is the best lesson that you learned from um, from the community when you talk about community engagement? When you talk about being involved in the community, when you talk about the community works and everything that y'all been doing in the community, and we talk about community enrichment and then engagement, what is like one of the most important lessons you learned from the community?
Oh, do you want to go first or?
You can go first.
Okay. I feel like one of the most important lessons that I've learned, like community wise, is I guess the strength of it.
Mm,
For elaboration, like how you and mom used to tell us stories all the time about how the community always backed each other up on whatever the situation was. Like for rallies, y'all always
mm,
stood together. Community events like African Independence Day, how everyone always shows up. There's people who show up every year, same spot, same vendors, and always always
mhm,
come out to support or to vend or whatever the case may be. And then my first year of vending, I actually we actually had a lot of people who watched me grow up personally um come up and support and asked how I was doing and asked about my hair products that I was making and stuff. And it was actually a really fun experience. A lot of them just came to a lot of, I'm not gonna say a lot, but some of them really just came out to support and see the venue and stuff, and then came to see me and my products. And just because just because we all grew up in a community together, they watched me grow up, they knew my dad. My dad was my dad. My dad has played a big part in a lot of things and community wise. um so yeah, I guess just the backbone and strength of a community, and a stable community, I should say. Because sometimes people say they have a community and they have support, and then when it really comes down to it, that's not always the case.
mm.
So just to see the amount of strength and love that a, a community can have and the impact that it can make on people, um, that would have to be one of my biggest things.
Good, good. That's a good answer. And Olu, and I would,
She laughing.
and are you able to
Oh,
speak, or you want me to speak first and then you come on?
sorry. I was
That's
trying
fine.
to because it was kind of like what I was gonna say was similar to like what Nefi had said. Because I
Mm,
was gonna like kind of use the word like strength. I was gonna use the word like love and family. Because I feel
mhm,
like similar to what she said. like growing up in like multiple different communities, from like the example she gave, and like, the communities that I've seen like in other places with other family members, I feel like there's like a lot of like love, and that can help you through like a lot of things. And even just like the way that everybody cares for each other and like comes through whenever somebody needs help. I feel like that, like I feel like love and family is what I most likely like learned the most out of every community I've been through.
I like that. I like that. And I guess I would have to third that. Support, man. Support. Um, I love. Like I said, we are we are the unit that we are today because of the community support. The love affair that people have witnessed for the last couple of weeks between us is because of the community. And so, um, yeah. So support and love is definitely two things that I got. Two of the biggest lessons that I got from community. How about you, Kamua?
Yeah, I want to say for me, commitment and
Mm,
responsibility.
mm,
You know,
mm,
because I've seen a lot of people, and in particular elders, who year after year, even before I was even, you know, kind of on the scene, you know, but once I was on the scene, they were there to receive me and
mm,
support. They still support us.
mm,
So, and so the commitment that I've witnessed is the commitment that I have, you know.
mm,
So the demonstration of commitment and responsibility, understanding, you know, the responsibility of being committed, the
mm,
responsibility of taking on, you know, roles and being present,
mm.
is really key. So commitment and responsibility.
I like that, and that's so true. Um, wow. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really on point. That's really on point. All right, so this one is for you, Kamua. Um, hmm. We was talking about the difference between um, how the Western world um, parental lifestyle or parental structure, I guess, and how we practice family and how the West practice family.
Mhm.
And I don't even know how to structure this question because there's a big difference. And I think us practicing the Western family structure is what's really um, keeping us from flourishing.
I agree. I agree.
And so I guess the question would be, all right, so here we go. What was your guiding principles or your guiding values to lead to that you use in parenting? Right? It's like, yeah, what kept you um, committed? What kept you um, yeah, what kept you committed? What um, kept you going? What kept you staying in the right space? Because there's so many things that could detract you and say, you know what, fuck it, I'm out. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like a
Yeah.
lot of cats had made a decision to say, you know what, I ain't doing this, right? So, what was your guiding values and your guiding principles that made you stay and made it worth your while to be committed?
Yeah. Good question. And as you speak about it, I'm thinking about some things that have been said, like love and commitment and responsibility. But you know, I also think about the household that I grew up in. You know, I had a big family. I guess you know, medium to large family. It was 6 of us, and you know, just definitely the love of the unity, being together, being you know, going through things with my family. Um, but the to the question more specifically, the guiding, I mean the glue or the element that kept me driving was the examples. The example that my mother, you know, my mother never quit. She was relentless. You know, there was, you know, definitely some hardships that my mother went through, and in those hardships, we went through those hardships together. You know, so, and when I reflect back on those experiences, those were the best moments. Those were the best moments. You know, and you know, I couldn't, you know, when raising my family, you know, especially when the boys were young and, you know, just managing everything, you know, in my mind, you know, there was no way that I would, you know, give up. There was no way that I would quit. In my mind, there was no way that I could see myself throwing in a towel. You know, the other element was, you know, my father, man, transitioned when I was, you know, really young, but his legacy was really strong. So, from what I heard, you know what people shared with me, I knew that, you know, I definitely came from a strong legacy. So I definitely wanted to fulfill that, what was expected of me, or, you know, assume, you know, come into the place of manhood that I believe that my father would have wanted me to be, you know. So
That's a great answer. Yeah, legacy is important. Legacy is important. Um, yeah, that's a great answer. Nothing you wanted to say something?
I was just gonna ask, like, in a different way, like, was it, did you feel like, well, Dad, you too, but do you feel like it's more Eastern or like Western principles that y'all follow as far as parenting?
good question.
Great question. You on the road, brother? I'm gonna let you go.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it definitely was a you know, it wasn't the nuclear family, you know. I tell you that straight up. Like, it was not the nuclear family. And it definitely was. I mean, now that, you know, you specify that question, because the family that I adopted wasn't a nuclear family either. Okay. So my mother, it was 6 of us with 5 different fathers. And you know, a very unique situation. But you know, we were so close, me and my sisters, and yeah, it was definitely not the nuclear family dynamic, and it worked. You know, it definitely worked. I think that, you know, my mother would be proud of all of us to see where, you know, what we have done and the families that we've raised. You know, we can get into the, you know, the whole sociological, you know, behavior that, you know, but at the same time, you know, as I look at a lot of our experiences, especially generation, I can say Generation X per se, the experiences that we, endured, especially throughout the 80s and the 90s, we were definitely faced, or we were experiencing life completely different from that of our grandparents. Definitely coming into adulthood in the 90s, as making decisions as teenagers. But yeah, I see us as a collective, as a generation, so I can specifically talk about me, but I look at the generation of my peers and the family structures that they have. Definitely not a, Western model, and I'll speak for my, the family that I adopted, my son and my sons, they were, they had fathers, they are my actual stepsons, if you want to give a title. But undoubtedly, I rose to the occasion to come in and to steer the ship, and willing to cooperate with the other men. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah. That's a great question because I never thought about it from an Eastern and Western perspective. I just did what spiritually guided me to do, right? And my spirit led me from a that I just didn't want to be what my father was. So yeah, they like that was the driving force behind my commitment um, to my children and to my family. Um, I didn't want no woman to go through what my mom went through. That was the driving force behind me being committed. Um, Me wanting better for y'all. I didn't want y'all to go through what I went through. So the driving force behind my parenting was I didn't want to fail y'all. I want y'all to have a better opportunity than I had. And I want the women that blessed me with children to not go through what my mom went through. And so that was like the driving force. Um, but it definitely, I guess, it's rooted. If it's spirit led, then it has to come from an African perspective, right? And so yeah, um, I see that the system that we was under wasn't working for us, and I wasn't able to articulate it. I just seen the results and knew that I didn't want that for the next generation. Not if I had a part to play in it, and so um, and this is why I had the title of a father of five, but a baba to many. Because every child in that comes in my midst, I look at them as mine, right? And um,
And we do the same.
yeah, yeah, and that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that y'all embrace the same principles. Yeah, I mean, like y'all make it so easy to be in a space to where I can just um, embrace all these children, right? Because y'all not like that's my dad. Well, sometimes. Um,
It's only when we
most
don't. It's only when we don't like people.
right, but for the most part, y'all are very willing to share and very willing to adapt those that I'm lending a hand out to, and so y'all make it easy to be the Baba to many, and I'm grateful for y'all for that. Olu, you want to say something on the topic?
Um, uh,
It's okay if you don't. You ain't
I
gotta
think
force it
I
to say.
said everything that I would have wanted to say.
Okay. Why you not?
Okay then.
Why you not on camera?
My camera's glitching. I don't really like it. Don't be wanting to turn on.
Okay. All right. I'll let you slide, Jay. I'll let you slide.
Okay, so here's a question then.
Mhm.
Um, I will answer too, but Olu, cause we all know Olu was very, that's my dad, that's my dad when she was little. So growing at, don't say you wasn't to us, but when it came to other people, he's like,
Oh,
that's
yes, she
my
was.
dad, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad.
that's
You
true.
can't have my dad. So for you to be as open as you are now to like you not completely, but when it comes to certain people, you're like, okay, we can share them. So I want to know like how that came about because when we was kids, you wasn't sharing him with nobody. You wasn't sharing
True.
him with nobody.
Olu want to fight. Like Olu wants one. He's ready to fight people.
Like,
What?
Yes.
I
yeah,
would.
oh, you were very protective.
Yeah, I probably was.
I like how you try to deny it. You're like, oh, but no, I probably was.
Yeah, cause
Just own it. Go ahead, own it.
No,
once I
put that
thought
down.
about it, I was like, I probably am. Now that I really think about
I
it.
don't care. She picked it already. My bad. The kids are sitting there and trying to argue about something stupid again.
All right. So, what's the transition? How did you transition to be a little bit more accommodating to others?
Well, when I was younger, like all I thought about was no, that's my dad. The so I feel like once you like the older you get, I feel like the more stuff that you know, the less you like are protective of. 'Cause I know like a lot of people that needed that like father figure or like father
Hmm.
figure like in their life. So like I really like started letting it slide. 'Cause I feel like a lot of people,
Not the
especially
letting it slide.
because like I feel like the people that he hand out to, I feel like they needed it. And I didn't want to like take that chance away from them because I know a lot of people don't know what it's like to have like a dad or a good one. So I feel
Hmm.
like that's probably like the biggest like reason that I changed because I know like even a lot of my friends are like that. So it's just like I feel like people really do need somebody like that in their life. So that's kind of like how I changed. If that makes any sense.
It does.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I
Yeah,
know
I
to
would
have that
like.
kind of perspective at such a young age is powerful. That's awesome.
That's
Thank you
beautiful.
for sharing, Olu.
Yeah, I would like to second that. Cause that me and you talk about it all the time, like how girls in my class say like um they don't have their dad around and they wish they had a dad and how like they long to have like for example Alea like she wants her dad around. She can't like he's not a good person, but and she knows that, but as her father she still wants him around. So just to have you here and be able to for her to be able to call you dad and have a father figure and see how her face lights up anytime she comes in the house and every time she comes in the house first question is where's dad, whether she knows you're at work, it just becomes such a habit now to come into the house, where's dad, she'll just walk past us and walk to the back to the room, where's dad, how do you tell them like so just to and then for me to have the relationship that I do have with my dad, for me to have the relationship that I do have with my dad, and everyone sees, like how we interact, and not just me, but our siblings, just in general, because of the fact that my dad does have a lot of girls. They're just like, oh, your dad is so great. Your dad is so this. Your dad is so fun. He's this. He's that. And I know Nonku sometimes said like don't remember word for word, but like something like her friends said that they wish that they could come hang out with us, or um that their dad was like you, or whatever the case may be. So to hear all of those things, it made me appreciate you more as a father. But just seeing you being so welcoming with other people's kids just made me be like, oh well, I want to try to get out. Sorry. but 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 just to see you be so welcoming with other people's children, just made me want to do the same, because we're all very welcoming, and just in our family in general. Like Olu's more of the standoffish person, like, oh, I don't know you, let's see how you are right now, and then maybe we can work into it. But for example, with Shamaya and her 10 kids, like, just the way to just seeing you just accept them and welcome them with open arms, it was just like, okay, well, you treated them like they were yours, so I treated them like they were my siblings too. Though I feel like the way that you treated other people's children affected how I treated them too, because I knew that you weren't just doing it, that I knew that you were doing it because you felt as though, not that you had to, but just because of who you were as a person. So for you to just accept them, it made it easier for me to just follow suit and just be like, oh, okay, well, if he looks at them like they're his kids, then if they're his kids, then they're my siblings. So it just makes it easier to just be like, oh, so he looks at them like this, then I might as well look at them like this too. And it just made it easier to accept siblings. And plus, I have a whole lot of siblings. I love having siblings. Yes, they are annoying, and yes, they do ask for a lot, but I wouldn't trade them for the world. Like, my siblings in a way are also my kids. Like, I look at them like my kids. Like, if anything that they need, if I have it, they have it. Anything that they may want and I'm able to do it and I feel like they deserve it, then sure. Like, food, y'all, if you're hungry, for sure, you can have it. I'll go. Like, when Sage will ask for you to get apples, he was like, Dad, can I get apples? She was like, you want me to get you apples? He was like, yes, please. And the fact that he said please, I feel like is the reason that you went and got them apples. But I didn't think he was actually going to do it. But I was at work, and Acme is right across the street, right across the parking lot from my job. So I seen this man walking into Acme, and I texted him. I was like, "No, you did not just go get them apples." And he just replied with a laughing thing. I'm like, "Yo, this man really just went to get them apples." But just the way that he's like, if we want or need it, and he's able to do it, as far as wanting it, then he would do it. And I just do the same for my siblings. So that's the why. That's, I guess, one of the reasons I would say I look at my siblings as my kids. And
Yeah.
part of the reason why it's so easy for me to, like, okay, that's your dad too, but I want y'all to remember, like, he stuck with me. that's my dad. That's your Baba, but that's my father. Like, just keep that in mind. Sometimes
That's
people
so
be getting a
dope.
little ahead of themselves, but
That's so dope. That was a great question. That was a great question.
Yeah, that was a good question. It is interesting to hear the feedback, because I often hear kind of like that sort of like internal, struggle sometimes with a parent is committed to the community, and having to share your father, share your parent, is a thing. And it's sort of like just like you described, I hear the same expression that Olu and Nephi just said, so it's beautiful to hear that.
Yeah, that's very profound, because we don't think about that. I mean, we out here doing our thing. We don't think about the nuances of, like, hearing somebody else call you that. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you're not. Goodbye.
so we don't
Love
we
you.
don't think about that, and to deal with the psychology that goes with that, right? Because there's psychology that goes with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people, some children that I know, feel like their fathers neglected them because they are so loving in the community, because they are so giving to other children. So for them to be so willing to do that, and to do it from a selfless perspective, is absolutely amazing, right? Um, so yeah, that was a great question and great share, y'all. I thank y'all for that. See, this is why having them on is so great, because it's like
Like even just recently, like what, yesterday, me, him, and Nunku all went out for ice cream. So it's just like, and Nunku treated him to ice cream. I didn't know that she was doing it, or else I would have helped plan it out. But yeah, she treated him to ice cream, and I ended up coming, and Olu was supposed to come, but she took a little longer than expected. But it's just
Sorry.
like the small, girl, you don't need to be sorry. We can easily do it again. It's right across the street. But just it's like the little things that count. It's just like I feel like a lot of people might take that for granted. Like, oh yeah, my dad's here. Sometimes I feel like when dads do try to be in their children's lives, like genuinely do try, and the kids are just like, you know what? Oh, that's just my dad. He's just, and then in a second they could be gone. And it's just like, damn, I wish I would have did this. Damn, I wish I would have said that. Damn, I wish I would have, could have, should have. So I feel like a lot of people may take their fathers or just their parents in general for granted, because I know in my situation, there's a lot of situations that are vice versa, where their mothers are more present, but their fathers aren't. And they're wishing that their fathers would be more present. Whereas though the roles are reversed in my case. But yeah, so to anyone that may be listening, any children or just grown adults who still have their parents around or are able to reach out, don't take your parents for granted. I haven't lost any of the many people that have helped raise me, or my two main parents. I haven't lost them yet, and God forbid that I do lose them anytime soon. But don't take your parents or anyone that y'all truly care about for granted, because in a second they could be gone. And I had to realize how fast that could happen. Like 2-3 years ago, I lost one of my childhood friends to gun violence, and it was 2 days prior to his passing that I was on the phone with his brother, and he was sitting in the room chilling. I'm like, oh yeah, tell him I said what's up. Just checking up on him and everything. And 2 days later, I'm scrolling on Instagram, seeing RIP, RIP, RIP. I'm just like, 2 days ago, literally 48 hours ago, he was sitting there chilling in his room, and now we have to bury him. So, yeah, just please, please don't take people that you love for granted. No matter how mad you may get anytime you leave the house, or just going to the store, or whatever the case may be, or just a random day, hey, how you doing? I love you, checking up on you. I do that to him every day. Text him at work, hey, how's work? Did you eat? Did you drink water? Like, are you good? How's the heat? Like, do you need anything? And that might just be who I am as a person, because I don't ever want to, like, my dad carries a big part in my life, and I see how hard he works to provide everything that we have. So anything that I can do to help lighten the load in any way, I try to do. But that's besides the point. Yeah, just moral of it, just don't take y'all people for granted. Y'all brothers, y'all sisters, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, parents especially, though, don't take them for granted. For whoever you feel like you can reach out to, or you can have a relationship with, or be able to build one, try to do that. At least try to do that, so then at least you can say I tried. Because if you can't for the least at least say you tried, then it's just something else for you to be like, damn, I wish I would have did that. So don't take y'all people for granted. I'm telling y'all, just don't do it. But that's my piece.
I have a question. I hope I don't kind of jump the gun, but and this question is for Olu and Nefi. We're talking about nuclear family and structure, and non-Western family structure. Have you two desired to want one particular, model, family model, opposed to
I'm
the other?
sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. Okay. So the question is for you and Olu. What are your thoughts in regards to the family structure that you grew up in, and more so also, did you desire to have the nuclear family, mom, dad, and and just the way it is taught to us, or Western view of family? What are your thoughts? Your experience, and what did you desire?
Um, I'm gonna let Olu go first on that one because I went first on the last few. I feel like she should get her little talking time.
Okay. I feel like I don't really know how to word it, but it's like for the desire part, I've always wanted to have like both parents in the same house, like, cause I always like had like weekends with my dad, and then like have the weekdays with my mom, and like it was just kind of like interesting going back and forth and everything. So I guess like one desire would always be like to have just both parents in one household,
Okay.
because it's just like sometimes I might have stuff at like my dad's house and I wish my mom could be a part of it, and vice versa. Like school plays or something, dad might not have time to drive all the way down to Philly, so then it's just kind of like I might just only have my mom there. So it's just kind of like one desire would definitely be like have everybody in one household, and like even though like I don't even like, because I don't really know how to explain it. It's just kind of like the desire to like have everybody just together, because like seeing people like seeing my friends talk about, oh, I'm with my mom and dad this, like I'm hanging out with my mom and dad at the movies or something, or like, oh, I'm having like family night like with my mom and dad and my siblings all in one house. Whole time I never got to like have that, because even with Nefi and Noku not being in a house together, because if I was with my mom and dad, I still wouldn't have all my siblings together, because it's just from different relationships. So I guess like I just always wanted like everybody to just be together, because I've always seen like friends and like people like walking down the street holding their mom and dad's hands, but like I can't even like do that because of like the two different like household situations.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I think thank you.
Boy, that's a great question. That was a question that was on the list, so that was a great question and great answer, Olu. Great answer.
Right. And I think you answer both parts too.
Yeah. I I don't I don't really know. Like I definitely had moments where I was just like, I wish I had both parents in the same house, like even if they weren't together, just to be like, oh yeah, we all live under the same roof.
Yeah.
But then the silver lining to that is I wouldn't have I probably would, but it wouldn't be them specifically. I wouldn't have the siblings that I have now, or I probably wouldn't have met the same amount of people that or met the same amount of people or learned the experiences that I got to learn due to the fact of them being separated. But there were definitely times when I was a kid where I just like sat up thinking like, oh, what if my parents were still together, or like how would it work, or whatever the case may be. Um, but I tried to accept it that because they separated at a young age for me, so I never really like remembered them being together. But there were times where it's just like Olu said, like the plays and stuff. Like I was in choir in middle school, and we were far. Like I think dad was still living with you at the time, and we were all the way in Upper Darby. So I knew that sometimes there were some things that he couldn't make it to, but then there were other times where I had an entire cheer competition, and Dad would make his way up there just to see me cheer. Um, so just the fact that I got to see that he actually did want to be there, and the fact that I at least, not if it wasn't every day, that there were some moments where I would have my parents in the same house, and they got along and we were able to hang out and stuff together. Like for my graduation, for a perfect example, um, we had a blast at my graduation after party. Um, Everyone was able to be in the same room and was able to coexist and stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely been times that I wanted to have all of us under the same roof, but I also tried to look at the silver linings of them being separated. Like this one time I made a joke to Dad. It's like at least when me and my mom get into it, I can just be like, oh, I'm going to Dad's house. And he just laughed at it because it's like trying to make a kind of bitter situation sweet. So yeah, that's just how I thought of it, or how I tried to think of the situation.
I think I want. Thank you, Nath. I think I want to extend that question to you, Farugh.
Oh yeah, I definitely going to answer. I definitely going to answer because I have um, had a huge revelation through therapy. Um, that of course
That
my
hurt.
ideal was to have all my children and the wife under one roof, right? Reading bedtime stories, waking up with them, going to bed with them. I mean, like, you know, big breakfast every other week. I mean, like, just these routines, right? So that's
Big
the most.
breakfast was
That's
fun.
yeah, big breakfast was fun. So
That was a lot of fun.
the ideal of it is still a fantasy of mine. But I love what I have. I love what I have learned. I love
Mhm.
what I have experienced. I love who I've become through these experiences. And if I had a magic wand, I wouldn't change it. Just because um, I feel like my life is more purposeful in this setting. I think um, that I was able to learn a lot more and touch a lot more people through this this journey. Um, and I have accepted the fact that um, everybody's not in the same emotional mature state to handle that kind of reality. And I think if we would have forced that, it'd have been a lot more painful than just us separating and just living our own lives and living our own path, right? But I am um, creating this. I am in the process of creating a scenario to where if people want to do that, we can do that, right? So we can have a compound. So that's my goal. My goal is to buy land somewhere and build a compound to where everybody have their own individual houses or whatever the case may be. And if you want to come move, I welcome that. Yeah, I mean, and we can share the same space and still have an individual space, but we still can all come together when we need to come together. So um, I'm still striving for it. It's not in its traditional state, but I'm still striving for it because I just believe the importance of the community, and I believe in the importance of village, right? And so, at least I can say that I provided the opportunity for us to have that. And if you want to do that, we can do that. And if not, then I'll create my soul tribe, and we'll rock out that way, right? But yeah, so yeah, I definitely I would have preferred to have one wife and as much children as we can tolerate, and that'd have been ideal, right? Um, but the universe had another plan, and I'm so glad the universe chose me to use to bring manifest that plan, right? And so, yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question.
Mhm.
See, this is why we need you here. I know you're doing stuff. I know you're doing stuff, and so, you know,
Man,
but yeah, that was a great question.
I'm just glad to be here with y'all. This is beautiful. Y'all got me thinking about a lot of different things.
Mhm.
You know, this is awesome. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
How about you, though?
I knew it was coming. Um, you know, to be honest, I definitely desire to have everybody, you know, the traditional, family situation. I did. But it just didn't come that way. It just didn't. And you know, I couldn't have foreseen it to unfold the way it has. Now, I will say I definitely struggled with that though. I definitely struggle with um, you know, not having the control, not having the outcomes that I foreseen for myself and my family. Um, but I think that it has definitely been a blessed experience. Um, and I think I'm still, coming to terms with what it has become, you know. Um, and even this question alone, listening to you, Farugh, I'm sitting here thinking, like, yeah, well, you know, have I come to terms with it? And I think that, as, I see the boys get older and they move forward with their life, you know, and them, come back to me and communicate with me. I feel like, yeah, it was a great experience. It was a great experience. The fact that I impacted them the way I did, so yeah, I appreciate what you said, and I'm really thinking about the things that you said, Farouk. So yeah, I'll continue to think about that. I
Mm,
haven't had, like, we had this. I haven't had the therapy, but just having conversations and
hmm.
you know and conversations with the family. It
Yeah,
also gives me more insight and understanding.
yeah, and it's funny because how they impact me. Like we talk about quite a great deal, not us in particular, but a lot of people talk about how they impact the children. But it's a mutual exchange, right? And I know I am the man I am today because of them. And so, and I'm not just talking about my biological ones. I'm talking about even the children that called me Baba, how they had impacted my life and gave me such a wide perspective on the world. And it's 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 beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And it's always unpacking, right? It's always unfolding. Just when you think you learned everything, it's another lesson to be that another lesson that comes up, right? And so it's constantly blossoming. Um, so before I get into next question, because the next question, the greatest question for y'all, then I got one more question for you more.
All right.
Um, so um, I want y'all to list one thing, um, one lesson that y'all learned from me, and one thing that I can work on, or one thing y'all don't like, or that I'm not good at, or I could be better at. Um, so yeah, so one of each. One like, damn man, I wish you could be better at this. and then the other one would be like, oh, this is the most valuable lesson I learned from you.
Mm. One thing I will say better on, you have gotten better on it from previous times, but just doing like the little stuff, like the whole ice cream thing, like just like little stuff like that. Like I know we have our dinner nights and stuff, and where sometimes we watch movies or sometimes we don't because we all be having stuff to do. Either it's work or you have work or be my artwork to do or you have gigs and stuff. So just sometimes like during the day or even if I have to take time off from work because I will do that for family in a heartbeat because I hate my job anyway. But I guess I know hate is a strong word, but I'm at that point. But it's okay. I'm almost there. I graduate hair school on the 24th, so next week I'm almost there. But yeah, just like being able to do stuff like that, like go like roller skating or Dave and Buster's or ice cream or stuff like that. Like I feel like that would be one thing that not just you, but that we could all work on. And then one thing that I do or that how did you word it?
One valuable lesson that you learned from me, or that we learned together, or whatever.
That we learned together.
Yeah, I mean that you learned from me, learn through my example, or learn through my stories, or learn by watching me experience certain things, or whatever.
I would have to say one that I've learned from you personally would have to be the power of acceptance. And just accepting people for who they are and being able to, like, once I learned how to do that, I was able to just be like, oh well, that's just like with Nunku is a perfect example. Anytime she has her little spaz out moments, I'm just like, that's just Nunku. Like she'll be alright. She'll be fine. She'll get over it. But yeah, I would have to say the power of acceptance would be one of the main things that I got from you. Yeah. I had another one, but I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm gonna let Olu go.
I like that. All right, that's dope. I'm working on the ice cream thing too.
Yeah, not just ice cream, but like ice cream, Dave and Buster's, go out to dinner or something.
I got you. All right, Olu's on you.
Well, I feel like first and foremost, I feel like the most important thing I learned from you is that like if I have the will to do it, then I can do it. Because well, first, like for example, like the stage that you're in now, like you're starting to like work on your you're working on your business, getting like your productions up. So it's just like not even though that you're starting later than you originally wanted to, you're still like putting a lot of effort towards it.
You're still doing it.
I really respect that because just like a lot of people, if they'll be like, "Oh, it's too late to start now,"
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't feel like doing it anymore," or like it's simply just like I could have started earlier, and since I didn't start earlier, there's no point in doing it. But you're just
They
like,
don't have
no,
the drive anymore.
I'm still right, like, but yeah, he still has like that drive and that like will to complete what he wants to do. And I feel like that's probably the most important thing I've learned because at a lot of times I'll be like, oh, I don't feel like doing something. I'll be like, oh, I could have learned earlier. I wanted to learn earlier, but like, oh, I can't do it now. But once I really think about it, I'm like, if he can do it, like I can too. Because a lot of times I'll say like, oh, like it's too late to do it or it's too late to start. But like, there's no point in saying too late when you can just start it now, if that makes any sense. That's definitely like the most important thing that I've learned from you.
Yeah,
And
because
like,
I would like to back off that he definitely says it all the time. Like he wants to teach us what he learned late, so we don't have to. so
Yeah.
that we can learn from the mistakes that he may have made or the stuff that he may have learned late and give it to us now so that we can learn from his mistakes or whatever the case may be and then put it to our moving on from where we are.
Yeah. And I wanted to kind of like back off like what like nephew has said about the whole entire like things you can improve on, because I know I can improve on this too, like coming up there more constantly and more often. Don't worry, I'm getting better at it. That had
You
to be
are.
a phase.
You are.
So
You
I
are.
feel like,
Definitely getting better with it. Definitely
Yeah,
getting better.
definitely.
and like I feel like more. I feel like we should do like more family things, like similar like to what she has said, because like even me having come up there more often, and like I feel like that's probably like the most important thing though, like family things and like just doing things together.
Last one.
Like I would like if you have like trips or something, like I would come down there for like 2 weeks. Like it's just like we will make time, and we just have to like actually plan stuff and actually like get things together. We just have to like all agree on one thing in order to spend that family time. But I just kind of wanted to back off of like Nephi said with the whole entire family thing. So I feel like that's probably the most important thing. And yeah.
All right, so let's do that then. Let's make a commitment. At least once a month that we'll do like a family gathering, a family trip or something like that. But this is the
Okay.
thing. Y'all
Okay.
gotta plan it. Right? Y'all gotta
Okay.
plan it. Because that's one thing and this is I know as a father, this we always thinking ahead, right? Um, but I'm gonna just give y'all this tidbit. Um, when we talk about women nature and men's nature, right? Women's nature is not solely, but y'all are the ones to create the mood, right? Y'all create the fun stuff. Y'all create because y'all have that creativity, right? A lot of
I
times
don't know how
men
you
are in
want
the
to
mood
play with
of
it,
like
but it's done.
producing and thinking and paying bills and stuff like that. So we're not really wired to be, you know, thinking about the fun stuff, right?
It's
Because we so focused on what needs to be done, right? And so this is a kind of preparation for y'all, and when y'all do get in relationships, that fun stuff, that spark, keeping the spark in the relationship, it's going to be on y'all. And so if y'all can, and if y'all can innately do that now, like practice that now, that will be better for y'all in the future.
Okay.
What do you think, Kamal? What you think about that? What you think on that?
Yeah, I love it. First of all, I love the feedback that they gave. But yeah, I love that you're empowering them to um, be a part of the creation of creating what it is that they desire. All right, so that's powerful.
All right, so y'all heard it. It's been documented. So if and I will give y'all updates. I will give y'all updates if we actually keeping it up, and they will too, because they're gonna be on the show, and so they will let y'all know if we actually are doing it. So yeah, we're gonna start in August. No, we can start in July. July's not over yet, so we'll start in July. We'll do one in July, and then we'll do one in August, and so forth, so forth, so forth. And we'll keep y'all updated on what it is that we actually did, and y'all can hold us to task on that as well. So that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. And I love the
So wait, are
feedback.
we doing one? Do you want to do one in August or two? Because my birthday is also in August, so we could count that for the family thing. But then again, it'd probably not just be the 4 or 5 or five of us.
Nah,
So just do like a
no,
separate one.
I think it has to be separate. I think
Yeah,
your birthday celebration is your birthday celebration, and then the family gathering is a family gathering, right?
great.
So
Just wanted to clear that
yeah,
up.
all right, that's cool. All right, so and I think I can actually touch on this too. Yeah, Matthew, yeah, I can touch on this. So, and this whole, and like I said, I keep it 100 with my children, right? And so, There's very little that we don't talk about, as y'all can see. And so the girls know that I am involved with a lot of relationships um, dynamics, right? Conversations. And so in these relationship conversations that I be had that I'm involved in, sometimes reluctantly, sometimes it's good, but sometimes I'm very reluctant. Then why I'm even in these discussions because whatever. But for whatever reason, they respect my input or whatever the case may be. So um, when you talking about dating and you talking about um, the dynamics and what's required and what's expected in dating, there's the concept of high value men and then beta men, right? And so so the conversation is this: a high value man is not going to be taking care of somebody else's child, right? Beta men are the ones that's going to be taking care of somebody else's child. Um, because beta men don't have the options that alpha that high value man has. So the question is this, Kamua, do you think that we're beta men because we choose to raise other people's children?
Absolutely not. It's actually
Hell no.
is actually the
Sorry, I
opposite
had to say that.
because if we could put it in terms of um leadership or one who attains a position of authority and responsibility,
That's whatever.
the person who takes on the most responsibility assumes the position of leader.
Mm.
And so, for instance, some of the qualities of leadership is being a great nurturer, right? Being able to serve others, all right? Being able to um, meet people needs, and I think that in this Western society, I think that we get it misconstrued what real leadership is. And I think that not many men have the ability to take on and full-hearted, 100%, and understanding what the task requires to take on a family, and that being a sort of mixed family. It's a huge, responsibility, and knowing the impact that you would leave on individuals, how you would impact that family by supporting that family in every which way, and being, taking on the responsibility, moving into that position, being able to deal with the other fathers. It takes a really a strong individual. So beta is not that I would definitely not, I don't know who is, qualifying these terms, but from what I witnessed, the people who impacted me, the men who impacted me, and I explained the family dynamic that I had, so there were men who stepped in, and I am a product of some of the men who came in and did the right thing, who gave great examples. I took from that, and that's what I wanted to become. So yeah. Um,
Yeah, I think it's like I just wanted to ask that question because I don't agree with it, right? But that's my opinion, right?
mhm.
That's my opinion, and um, yeah, I'm just like, where are we going at in society where we look at men who choose to step up and be a positive role model, right?
Mhm.
Because if you're an adult, you're a role model. If you're a parent, you're automatically a role model. Now, it's up to you whether you want to be a positive one or the other one, right? That's a conscious choice. But people are watching you all the time. Yeah, I mean, so you know, yeah. So I mean, I hear that. I'm hearing that more and more and more that simps and beta men will take care of somebody else's child, take care of somebody else's responsibility, and I'm like, wow, this is the world that we in today.
Right.
That's something. That's something. That's something. All right, Neff, it's on you.
Um, I would respectfully like to completely disagree with it as respectfully as I can,
Mhm.
because this is still a podcast and it's a family friendly podcast. But I feel like it takes a very strong man to not even just physically but mentally and emotionally to raise another man's child, because at the end of the day it's not your child and you don't have any responsibilities or um like any dues to that child, because it's still not technically your child. But the fact that y'all were even willing to be like, it's not my child, but I'm still willing to help take care of the load, help take care of this, help take care of that, clothes, food, this, and the third. Because I know sometimes it's just like people, like, not even just men, but men want to have their own kids, like just to be like, oh, this is my child. Um, and just having to deal with like the traits of the child that they do get from their father, um, that they might not know how to deal with because of the fact that like they don't even, they might not even know, like, for example, like if you're raising another man's child and that man is not even around, so you can't even see where, like, if they get these traits from their mom and if their mom can help, or if they get these traits from their dad and they're nowhere to be found. So you don't really know how to um I guess go about the situation. And then there's cases where the woman that they're in the relationship with, that is the mother of the child, will want them to take the responsibility as far as clothes and food and this, that, and the third, but will not give them the leeway to have any type of parent figure or father figure. They just want them to take care of the financial aspect of it. So I feel like to just overall to take care of another man's child, I feel like is one of the most admirable, and actually like wholeheartedly treat them like they're your own and everything. Is a very admirable thing. Um, and it's definitely not a beta trait. I don't know where that came from. I never heard that a day in my life, and I hope to never hear it again. Cause what? That's I'm sorry. That's just anything to say. Cause just like I've seen the way my cousins, like, I've seen, like, my cousins are way older than me. They're all like in their either late or mid or early 20s. But I've seen how they've turned out, and it's just like, yeah, my uncle is not their biological father, but he was around. He helped raise them, and they turned out to be very great, respectful, and successful young men. So it's just like I don't see, I don't know. I don't see how that can be seen as a beta trait, but go off, I guess. 'Cause yeah, that's my piece. 'Cause
Yeah, I can see. I can see. Um, from the alpha, from the um. Now I'm gonna let Ola go first. Great, Ola. I'm gonna let you go, then I'll follow it up.
I mean, I could see. I mean, I guess I could see where you were gonna go with that, like the like you can see where they're coming from. 'Cause it's just like, oh, why are you taking care of another man's child? It's not your child. You don't. But you can't. I don't know. I'm gonna just let her go. Cause yeah, that's just. I feel like there's there's so much more I could say, but I'm gonna leave it where it is.
Although you got anything to say? Any comments?
Um, I feel like I agree with similar to what like Nephi has said. Like the fact that you're willing to take care, nurture, and like love another person's child and treat them as your own, especially like I feel like I can never see that as like because I feel like it takes a different type of man to be able to do that. Like I've seen people be like, "Oh, that's not like." I see the alpha comment where it's like, "Oh, that's not my kid." Da 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 da. But the fact that you're able to like willingly take care of another person's child and to help them grow and to take care of them and treat them as your own and like take them under your wing, I feel like that comment makes no sense at all, honestly. Like, because this doesn't make any sense. Because how is that like seen as being a beta when it's just like at the end of the day, you're still taking care of somebody, like you're helping a family, like because although that's not your biological child, you're still making sure that child grows to be a good person. You're still making sure that child is like okay. You're still making sure like that comment makes no sense because it's just like it takes a different type of man to be able to do that stuff. So yeah, that's all I gotta say though.
Oh, it's my babies. Those my babies.
Like
All right,
I can
so
see where the whole alpha thing might come in. It's just like, oh yeah, you should be taking care of another man's child. That's not your child. You don't owe that. Da, 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 da. But I feel like it's just like I don't feel if you're not willing to or not I don't want to say willing, but if you're not open to taking care of or at least helping or whatever the case may be with another man's child, then just don't date a woman with kids. Like there's plenty
Right.
of women out there who have no kids that you can be in a relationship with. Like it's just like because it's like for example, I know we never bring her up, but for example, like Copper, like she wanted to date someone with no kids, but she liked you, so she tried to make it work. But at the end of the day, it didn't work because like like her kid or kids or whatever she had, but they were already grown. Like she had no responsibility, so just to get into a relationship with a whole other man that has responsibilities and put his kids before everyone, like she couldn't deal with it, and that's completely fair. Like if that's not your cup of tea, then okay, then it's not your cup of tea. But don't try to bash someone else for doing what you couldn't do. Like if you can't take care of another man's child, then you can't take care of another man's child. That ain't nobody. You can't. You're not about to. I don't know. You can't bash somebody for something that you can't do.
Yeah.
Like that's like that's like me bashing Kobe Bryant because he plays better basketball than me. Like that don't make sense. So it's just
Like what?
it's like I don't know that statement is very
Very interesting.
Mhm.
for like a
All right,
better word.
so I'm gonna give you insight to their mindset. All right, so their mindset is as such. You're raising a child, you're putting the resources into this child, you're giving your time and effort into this child, and they never respect you as a biological father, right? So the minute that there's some kind of disconnect, a minute there you tell them something that they don't want to listen to, the first thing they throw in your face that you're not my father. First thing they'll say to you, you can't tell me what to do, you're not my father. But you're pouring resources into this child, you're paying this, you're paying that, you're spending time, you're giving advice, you feed and blah 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 blah. And um some cats, that's their perspective. Their perspective is that, you would never be looked at as that child's father, right? And the minute that there's the possibility with the mom, the possibility of the mom saying, don't touch my son, don't hit my son, don't talk to my son like that.
Responsibility.
Don't, I mean, so
Yeah.
From their
That's
perspective, I can see why, which makes it even more apparent why we are a special breed of people because we're not attached to the outcome. We're not attached to results. We believe that no matter what the outcome is, that we giving the best of ourselves to this child in hopes that that child will benefit from it. It's not about us. It's not about our ego. It's not about us patting ourselves in the back. It's simply and purely about that child,
Mm-hmm.
which makes us even more of a unique breed because we're not doing it for the sport of it. We're not doing it. We're doing it for the great parenting and
Ooh,
parenting. What people don't really understand in parenting, the power of parenting.
Oh man, he on fire.
I just heard the cutout.
Yeah.
But yeah, to touch on that whole alpha perspective, like I get it, like the whole oh,
Well, let me
like
finish.
if yeah, I was about to say I didn't know how long you was gonna take. So go ahead.
But as as a parent, you have the opportunity to alter the state of humanity. Think
Yeah.
about that responsibility, right? You are you are given the opportunity to it's a sacred mission. Like I don't understand why people just miss what this opportunity is. You have the sacred mission of guiding and assisting a new majestic soul to manifest its purpose to advance humanity. If
And I
that is not a reason to give your all, I don't know what else is.
and I think that we have a brother who recently just got married, and when he was courting his sister, she was with child, and the child wasn't born yet, but there was a lot of conversations. But one of the conversations that I had, being a man who has taken on the responsibility of children who didn't come from my loins, I told him, you know, wholeheartedly, you have to adopt. If you want to be with her,
Mhm.
if you envision being with her significantly, that you will need to adopt that child. 100%, that child will become your child. And if you can move forward with that in your heart, you're doing the right thing. But if you move forward less than with that intention, you need to really think about being in, reconsider about being in a relationship with that. And this is coming from experience because I was told the same things, as I went forward in my relationship. Um, you know, you know, um, Becoming engaged to a woman with 3 children, and I was discouraged by other men, but that wasn't how I was raised. And it was funny you started off with this question, that question, Farugh. What were the things that um, you know, what was the things that you got out of being raised the way you were raised? And so I was raised with you know giving to others, what I'm saying, giving my all to others in terms of family, because that's what I witnessed. And so I think though it makes is a certain man who can do that. I don't think that every man is capable. I think that the noblest men are able to do that. Real kings, real leaders. But there are men who don't have it in their heart. And I'll say, don't even think about it. Don't even think about getting involved in a situation if you are not 100% in your intentions. No. So it's not for everybody, but only the noblest men can take on that responsibility. So
Mhm.
I mean, I will. I feel like when Dad said that some mothers be like, "Oh, you can't hit my son. You can't do this. You can't do that."
Bless you.
Thank you. But that I feel like that goes into the part where I was saying like they want to give you the financial responsibility, but not
Hmm.
the emotional or physical responsibility of being a parent. And I feel like that might be a fear of men that go into a relationship with women who have kids, is that
Hmm.
they might get attached to the child, and then the next thing
Hmm.
you know, they get ripped away from them because the mom doesn't want to be together or anymore, or they have their own issues that they just can't work through. Um, and then seeing it happen firsthand, I can understand why um some men might have that fear of not wanting to raise another man's child, because then there's also cases where the father of that child that might be around um doesn't want another man raising a child, and it
Hmm.
becomes a whole problem, and it's just and vice versa though. Sometimes there's women who are just like, oh, I don't want this woman around my child, I just want this woman raising my child, this, that, and third. So but as far as the whole like, oh, don't hit my son, don't do this, don't do that, da da da, da, I feel like the other parent of that child should be able to um kind of like co-sign, like reinforce the like, oh, you have to respect this person as well. I don't want to say have to, but like this is they hold this place, and kind of like back them up on it, and not just let the child just be
Yeah, but yeah, that's part
hold
of
on.
it
Can you
though.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
We hear you now.
hold on. There you go.
So that, I mean, that's part of the conversation. That's part of the acceptance. When you talked about, that was like the biggest lessons that you got from me. You got to accept the situation for what it is, and you got to accept all parties that's involved, and you got to accept the fact, even if they're not involved, the possibility they may come involved, become involved. You might spark something in them to say, you know what, I want to come back and be more involved. And what you gonna say? No, you ain't been involved all these years. Now you can't come in. Like, no, you just have to be open to the possibility of that person coming back. And I think, and again, that's another part of the nobility that you were referring to. Knowing that all these things could possibly can manifest and still be willing to do it, because it's
Mhm.
a bigger cause. It's a bigger calling, right? It's not about you, right? It's not about you and that person. It's about the world. Like for me, I do what I do because I believe in my heart of heart that benefits humanity. And so I'm willing to sacrifice a little discomfort or a little money or a little material resources. If I know it's going to benefit humanity, why not do it? Right. And so, and I've been in relationships where the boys rose up on me and I had to take a walk around the corner. You know what I mean? And I've been in situations where the mom rise up on me, and I had to take the higher road because it's not about me and them. It's about you know the humanity, the advancement of humanity, and so yeah, you just have to be, you just have to be, yeah, you just on another level. It's just another level, and like I said, I get it, and I guess that's the accepting piece. I understand what the brothers are talking about with the fear, but I'm not doing it. I'm not letting fear stop me from doing what is right.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, fear is not gonna stop me from doing what was right, and me giving my all to those children is the right thing to do. And whatever the outcome is the outcome. But I know that I gave my best foot forward, that's satisfying to me, no matter what the outcome is. So there it is. Right? Like there it is. Time check.
9:30.
Huh?
9:30.
9:30?
Yeah.
Wow, we way over. Yeah, I mean we got a late start. All right, so we are coming to the end of the program. Damn, I did not know it was 9:30. Wow. And thank y'all for hanging out with me, especially Olu, because I know Olu got an early bedtime. Olu don't be playing no games with, even though, even on summer break, girlfriend be like, I gotta get my beauty rest. So I really appreciate you hanging out with us and staying to the end. So we are coming to the end of this exchange. I want to thank you for joining us on this global movement towards self-discovery and empowerment, which equals true liberation and freedom. Any closing remarks by anyone?
Wait, say it again.
All right, so any closing remarks?
Oh, my closing remark would be, if you could take anything from what anyone has said in this podcast today, and apply it to your thought process or your own self growth or self realization or anything, or just your life in general, and it be for the betterment, please do. Um, please do. Cause that's what we here for, is to help people better themselves and better ourselves just through these conversations. So, yeah, that'll be all. I'll see you guys next time. I'm not leaving yet, but that's my closing remark.
Olu?
I mean, this was fun. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
like, I feel like this is like a very good like thing to do, and like I feel like the conversations are like very important to have, and like I feel like for anybody that's like listening to it, they should really like take into consideration of like what we're saying, because like a lot of this stuff is important, and a lot of this stuff people don't like think about until they actually hear somebody else talk about it. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, I didn't even think of that until you like mentioned it to me. So it's just like I feel like for people that are listening, I feel like you should really take into consideration of like what everybody is saying.
All right, I like that. I like that. And so you're welcome to come back anytime. Just let me know what your schedule is, and you come back. You can come back. I think y'all provided some real context to the conversation, and again to hear it from our youth is very impactful and very empowering. And so yeah, so you're welcome to come back anytime. So just let me know what your schedule looks like, and you can come on anytime you like.
All right.
Okay. Well, I love you.
Love you too. Bye
All
bye.
right, and bye bye. It looks like everybody else is gone. So okay. All right. So
Oh,
Nevi's still here.
there's
Awesome.
he's back.
Uncle Kumula is, I think he is trying to get back on. Um, yeah. So this is really good. This is really yeah, this is really good. And I want y'all to really think about what was said earlier about the importance of parenting. Um, it's a very important job, and like I said, the the future of humanity is in stake. So you should give your best effort to be the best parent, to be the best support system that your children can have. And you know, so that's my closest statement, right? Um, So, if you have any show ideas, topics, resources to assist us on this mission of empowerment, and also keep the conversation going, your input is very important to our collective empowerment. Follow Be My Eye on all social media outlets, and comment, share, like, and all that good stuff. That will help us spread the word. If you found value in this presentation, you can support in many ways. Again, just go to the website. Anything Be My Inc. It will pop up. And again, like, share, comment. We do have a cash app on the bottom if you want to support any of our missions. We have the men's group that we work with. We have a youth group that we work with. You can buy our merch. So buying our merch will help towards all the percentage of the proceeds of the merch goes towards our many initiatives. African Independence Day is coming up, which is a cultural event that we have every year. So we can use some support with that. So go to the website. The website will have all updated information. For the most recent update information, go to my personal page on Facebook. I'm very current, very active on there.
Did you talk about the classes that you do every other Tuesday?
Yeah, that's the men's program.
Okay.
We have talked about it. So every other Tuesday. So I would definitely, if you go on my Facebook, the dates are on there, and it's just a safe space for men to be men and be vulnerable and be able to put down the armor and just really have a period of time to just have some self-exploration. Find out what they really like, what makes them happy, and what makes them tick, and just be able, just put the shield and spear down and just be. And this will be our third meetup, and I must say the first two was very profound, very powerful. Kamua can attest to that. Some real intimate shares, and like I said, the brothers that come through, we all benefit from the shares. So you're more than welcome to come through. We'd like to extend our gratitude to all of our supporters and our sponsors. We are solely funded by your generosity. If you like this program, there's tons of other programming like this on this platform, and also could use some support. Donate to Money Sun, Knowledge Born Allow on Cash App, and he has other means of ways you can.
For the been 50 years of hip hop. Support the God Knowledge Born, Student Knowledge Radio, 8 years. The knowledge is the accumulation of all facts. People the gods of earth.
Awesome. So hopefully you took a screenshot of those other ways you can actually support this mission. And thanks again in advance, and always remember to be my eye and become a master of life, and we'll see you next my eye day at 7 p.m. and I love y'all. Stay blessed. All right, peace.
In 86, the devil raised the bar, but I'm a hurdler. And I'm the good thief. I sneak in your toxic house, the burglar. The musical Merkaba came to set free the Lucifer worshippers. Like James Bond 007, the soul of an old legend. Negative energy murderer. Good or evil, angel or demon interpreter. Keys with frankincense and myrrh. And perfumes anoint me soon as my birth occur. Like Ben-Hur, I'm indigenous to Gilgamesh. With brilliantness builders of the pyramids. Now we lost in American North wilderness. I became the force, a poor man's ventriloquist. On the island far away from home like Gilligan. Took us from our villages till we find our way back through resilience and our diligence. Through rags and wave caps, black fists look militant. In college remembrance, while living ignorance. Driving kids with innocence, dreams fly limitless. Straight towards the nebula, with cannon or the terror. Black boys face, we all in this together. I chase demons in my cape, my sword and my scepter. His brother Glow the Great, the lord of this era. Royal priesthood, gold plates and treasures. Anubis, my eye, weigh your heart against the feather. Carted Satan out your soul, lifting him out, he's on the stretcher. With my divine helicopter, with shock and propellers. Outlines made of copper, the fortune teller. My dragon glows green like matcha. New York regalia, like Robin Walker is the prophet Walter. From the days of Iron Sheik versus Sergeant Slaughter. Blue around my garment borders. Fringes, execute vengeance. Mathematics, Qurans and Taurus. Rock the head of Horus. Rocks in the watch is gorgeous. Behind my will, it fell into the wheel. Metamorphin. Start spinning clockwise and counterclockwise. On the outside, my car became a flying saucer. Straight through the orbit.
Use my mind. Lose my mind. I will use my mind.
Yo, masquerade killer, Michael hijacked the sun, matinee thriller. Zombie apocalypse, a center for disease, says my tracks are way iller. Isodrenochrome cubes keep they cabernet chiller. And thought is thought, they don't want you to think. Knowledge is power, shock the flowers, make my aura look pink. To know the ledge, godly hour, push your thoughts to the brink. You can't even close your eyes, become a corpse if you blink. Where the oracle sink, I was born in the Sphinx. Copper DNA necklace with historical links. Hiding poison in the food, in the water you drink. Cause they raised done and they just biding their time. Throw food the lost tube coming down on my mind. Stab you with a light ray cause you was dying to shine. Then I disappeared like a truth post in your IG. Holy Spirit dripping like a ghost in your IV. Can't deport them all, we was already here. So get in tune with the voices in the water right here. You don't see the embryo in the form of your ear. Invisible man, I make myself awfully clear. Royal priesthood, astrologies is Lord of the Spheres. Throwing platinum plates, you thought the flying saucers appeared. Yeah, they scared to wear their own face in the street. Deep elixirs, beast addicted to the taste of the sheep. On Harry Potter's wheel, the god knew arrange my physique. Kai, Elohim, hemoglobin, the Arabian chic. 7 circles like the planets in the days of the week. Supreme math, solar facts in the language I speak. You brainwashed if you watching the news. Never make the wrong step when the laws in my shoes. The dream weaver make it seem there's no option to choose. Corona dope fiends, they be trying to nod. They in line to get shot, that's a fireman squad. Pharmaceutical, shoot to kill line with the gods. I cried for the angel babies that have died in the fog. Caught up in the crossfire like a panther in a Klan rally. Zodiac, they need these answers in my hands badly. Like palm readers, break dancers in the sand valley. I moonwalked on chemtrails in the sky. On the path to ancient Kemet, where the scales in my eyes. The sun and moon temple sitting on the side of my head. A million years I still remember every line that I said. Hermes Trismegistus, serve me the statistics. 99 attributes of Allah, 99% survival rate. Imagine the odds when you're the Neo, you're the one that made the patterns evolve. Another chapter to solve, why the Saturn revolve. Spinal column, I am Amen, climb the ladder to Oz. On a rocket to Nebula, the planet of the gods.
Use my mind. Lose my mind. I will use my mind. I won't lose my mind. Use my mind.
Musical math, get used to the craft. Use my mind, turn the mic to a producer, your staff. Trying to fit these odd shapes in the box. Tetragrammaton, tetra, see my face in the watch. Circle of light displayed in an arrangement of clocks. You can't be so diplomatic when you're breaking the locks. God Zodiac, Killer Priest, Wrong Priest.